We just want her home. We're so scared and we miss her so much and we love her so much. And Kiely, we love you. And if you see this, please just come home. I want nothing more than to hug you.
The mother of a missing 16-year-old pleads for help after her daughter disappeared in the early morning hours of August 6th.
If anybody else out there, if you know where she is, if you know anything about where she might be, if you have any ideas or thoughts, please come forward and share them. And we're not looking to bust anybody else or get anybody in trouble. We just want to see our daughter home.
Authorities say Kiely Rodni vanished after attending a party at the Prosser Family Campground in Truckee, California. Police fear she was abducted.
And because we are treating this case as an abduction solely as a result of her vehicle not being located, that now intensifies the search. And so we, again, will not leave any stone unturned, and we have requested the help of every agency who is willing to help us, and that does include many local, regional, state, and federal agencies.
Rodni had driven to the end of high school party in her silver Honda CR-V. Investigators also say her phone has been out of service since that party. Police have released a surveillance image of the missing girl from a business just hours before she went missing. They've also released a photo of 2 different sweatshirts she may have been wearing. One she borrowed from a friend at the party, and the other she was also seen wearing at the party. Authorities say 200 to 300 young people were at that party, and the sheriff's office says someone must know something about what happened.
Anyone that was at the party that night, please come to law enforcement. Please go to the tip line. It is anonymous if they want to remain anonymous. We can't urge enough that people that were there know something. If you know something, please say something. Come forward about Kiely's disappearance.
Yeah, I think the sheriff is right. I mean, you've got literally a couple hundred people. Somebody knows something here that is going to help. Unfortunately, we've seen cases like this in the past that we've covered, unsolved cases where there's a party and there's lots of people and some people aren't talking and they're not, providing all the information they can. And we just hope that's going to happen out there and they can help find Kiely, because I can't imagine how desperate her family is and her friends and loved ones and everyone else. Let's bring in our guests joining us tonight to talk about Kiely's case. In Truckee, California, family friend and spokesperson for Kiely Rodni's family, Cassie Habel, is with us. And in Chicago, Illinois, private investigator Erica Morse, who's covered so many cases like this. Thank you both for joining me. Cassie, let me begin with you. For people, a bunch of people watching this right now don't know anything about Kiely. Who she is, what she's about, how old she is, what she likes to do, what she wanted to do with her life. Can you tell us a little bit about that first?
Yes, I can. Thank you for having us on for this. It means so much to the family to be able to get the word out and to share what is happening here in Truckee and who Kiely is. Kiely is a 16-year-old, fabulously talented young woman who graduated early from high school, planning on going into the UC of some capacity and at some time in the future. She is a musician. She is a friend, a close friend to many, and she has a spirit about her that is inspiring. She's inspirational.
So how about the searches now? Is this a case where you've got members of the community, and I'm also wondering specifically, maybe some of the classmates and the friends who are out there searching for Kiely?
Yes, the search efforts have been large. Members of the community, different helpers from the agencies, and then, yes, the teams are out there, and they were searching and bringing other teams together to share as much information as they possibly have from the party and to share their knowledge base. Basically, if there is a community member who is going, do I have something to report, and they're thinking about that, then report, because no report is unwanted.
And I've got to imagine if you've got 200 to 300 teenagers, you've got 200 to 300 cameras that are there that night as well, with tons and tons of pictures and photographic evidence that may show something. I want to bring Erica Morrison, private investigator who's worked so many of these cases through the years. Erica, first, your first impressions of this case, and we're about 10 days in now for the search for Kiely.
First of all, Cassie, I just want to express my sympathy for what Kiely's family is going through. Thank you for stepping up and being their voice right now, because it is extremely difficult for parents in this position to get on the air and sit in front of the cameras and relive this loop over and over again. I apologize. There's some music outside my office, so if you're hearing that, I apologize.
That's okay.
But, thanks. My initial thoughts are, Vinny, this case is going to be resolved. And my plea tonight is actually to the parents of the 200 to 300 kids that were there. Because it's my understanding that these parents might be telling their children not to speak up because of some things that took place at this party. And I cannot stress enough what these kids are going to be dealing with from a mental health standpoint if they are told to keep quiet. There's going to be a lot of trauma and post-traumatic stress. It's going to lead to some substance abuse and addictions. It could end up leading to some serious self-sabotage. I have worked these cases. I worked a case where the father just came into my office today, and this was a 2011 case, 300 witnesses. It took 5 years to solve because these parents had told their kids to keep quiet. They didn't want them to get involved. These kids left a trail of destruction in their lives to keep quiet for so many years. And once they became adults, they started speaking up. That case was solved. This one will be too. If I were law enforcement, clearly I'd be looking for every video and every image that was taken. Her 2013 Honda CR-V, I don't know if it was one of the models that had GPS on it at the time. Clearly they're going to be they've already pulled her cell phone records, but they're going to be looking for any potential GPS records. They need anybody and everybody who was in that area at that campground to speak up.
Cassie, how is her family holding up right now? I've spoken to families in this situation before, and it is torture. It is absolute torture. But are they getting enough rest? Are they remembering to eat meals and things like that?
Yes, the family actually is very supportive of one another, and the community that has come out in terms of close friends and extended community members are supporting the family. They are hopeful, and they are walking with hope, and they are sharing hope with themselves and the rest of our community. They are strong, and they are capable. So, yes, they are sleeping, and they are doing self-care in between doing the work that it takes to bring Kiely home. If it's okay, I would like to address the videos and the kids at the party if you want to hear.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So I agree with you that it's important that the videos are shared. And what has happened here is from the first day, there was on Sunday a community meeting to bring teens in to share their statements with law enforcement, and that was a very good turnout for only being a little over 24 hours into the search. And since and more keep coming, and community members and parents are talking with their kids and having their kids share the information, and we are seeing more of that happening. So the videos are coming in. You're absolutely right, with 200 teens celebrating what is to be a normal celebration of end of summer and going off to wherever they're going off, if it's university, if it's track school, whatever that is, something that was so normal for teenagers, it ended up this way. And we have our community backing us, and parents are there working with their teens, and we have behavioral health also supporting in our community, from the teens all the way up to us old people, right? So that we can really be there for our searchers, the community searchers that have come out to go in the backcountry, because we know our woods, right?
Absolutely.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
Cassie, can we do this? I just have to take a quick break, but we're going to come right back and we're going to continue talking about this important story tonight. Kiely Rodni missing out in Truckee, California. We'll talk about that, plus coming up next hour.
In Fairfax County, Virginia, big shakeup in Amber Heard's legal team. Her top attorney is out. What will this mean for her case? And will Johnny Depp ever see a dime of the money she owes him?
No matter what happens, I did get here, and I did tell the truth.
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day.
Emily Noble is reported missing a day after celebrating her 52nd birthday.
Her body was staged to appear as though it was a suicide. That was absolutely not the case. Emily's husband was arrested. 2 different counts of murder.
The question is, was she murdered or was it suicide?
This was clearly a homicide based on the injuries that were sustained.
Our cameras taking you inside the courtroom as this dramatic case unfolds.
The staged suicide murder trial. Live coverage starting Tuesday at 9/8 Central on Court
At Nix.com.
Can you or the officers behind you confirm that her phone, Kiely's phone, the last ping was near the water?
Yeah, the ping for the data points and everything were near the water. It's hard to tell an exact pinpoint or anything like that, but just as much on land as it was on water.
The search for Kiely Rodni, high school graduate, graduated early, was getting ready to begin, this incredible adventure of her life that was ahead, and she's been missing now for 10 days. There you hear from the sheriff. Still with me, Cassie Habel, spokesperson, family friend, and Erica Morse, private investigator. Cassie, let me ask you about the area. They described some water. What type of water are we talking about that's in that area?
We're talking about a large body of waters around that area, reservoirs, and public access to that water. The party was not at the water. It was away from the water near what they call Prosser Camp.
And about how far away, how long of a drive would it be for her to go from the party back home?
10 minutes, if that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that
12.
close. Wow.
Yeah, very close. This is a readily available place for people to recreate and be a part of nature, and that is something that Kiely, as a born and raised girl in Truckee, all of our kids, that's what we do. We're out recreating and being a part of our environment and in taking in what the mountains have to offer us.
Erica Morse, the cell phone is always so crucial. You heard the sheriff, not exact, it pinged near the water, but they can't get an exact location from it. Your thoughts?
My thoughts on this is that they're treating it as an abduction. And that's because that's already been confirmed, that's how they're treating this case. So when you're looking at it as an abduction, you have to consider the fact that the cell phone was thrown out the window at the time of the purported abduction. So it could be that the vehicle and Kiely didn't necessarily left and the phone stayed. So unfortunately, you have to consider that separation. That does not necessarily mean that where the phone landed is where she is. I know some of the searchers who were on the ground participating in this search. They are the best of the best, and if there is anything to be found out there, they, along with law enforcement, will find it. So it is critical that this is being treated as an urgent abduction, because if they're looking at it from two different perspectives. Was it someone who knew her that took her, or was it someone unknown to her? Because that's a completely different investigation. Less than 2% of all abductions are stranger abductions. So that in that type of situation, you must cast a much wider net. And that is why the FBI is involved. That's why you're seeing multi-state searches and efforts at this time. But where the cell phone landed or where it was discovered is not necessarily indicative of where Kiely's going to be located.
All right, and if we can, there we go. We got the picture of Kiely up. Also, the vehicle is a very important part of all of this as well. If you have any information, folks, please make the call. Make the call. These are difficult times for the family, for that entire community. Tahoe Invest Tips, placer.ca.gov. Let's hope that there is an answer, and that answer is the answer that the family is looking for tonight. Cassie Habel, family spokesperson, please give our best to the family. Let them know we're going to stay on the story. Erica Morse, always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much as well.